All right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so as y'all probably know by now, my channel is pretty much military themed. Now on the channel, I've done tier lists previously. I did a camouflage tier list. I did like a vehicle tier list, a weapon tier list. So today we're doing something different. It is a tier list, but it's going to be a tea tier list. Now, so this is obviously going to deviate from the rest of the stuff that I do on the channel, but hopefully I have enough tea drinkers on the channel to be able to appreciate this. I know a lot of y'all are from the UK, so that kind of helps. But yeah, I'm pretty passionate about tea, so I have some pretty strong opinions of it. Now, I do have a pretty extensive tea collection right now. Honestly, I didn't really start drinking tea until maybe like 6 years ago. But once I did, I'm able to appreciate a lot more. So I do have a lot of tea. I went to England pretty recently, so I got a lot more tea. So that kind of helped out with the appreciation and also the collection. So we have some tea here. I'll kind of just switch over to this screen. So we have some tea here. We have 10 different teas. So we have Twinnings, or I guess you would pronounce it Twinnings or Twining something. Honestly, I've never heard anyone say the brand name, but Twinnings English Breakfast, Twinnings Earl Grey. We have Tetley Original. So a lot of these are going to look very familiar, especially to those who live in the UK. Now, we have something called Cornish Tea, which I only just found out recently. And then PG Tips Yorkshire Gold. I mean, there's normal Yorkshire, but honestly, Yorkshire Gold is better. So I just figured I'd throw that one in here instead. And then we have the Yorkshire Biscuit Tea, which is like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Okay, and then I have Berries Tea, Lipton Tea, and Typhoon. So again, this is going to be very different from the rest of the stuff I do, but this just seemed like a funny thing to do. This was a recommendation from one of y'all, and honestly, it seems like a fun thing to do. So I'm very excited to try it out and see what we can see with these teas. Because honestly, I'm already having some pretty strong opinions. Now, I do have some of these teas here, so I kind of try and bring them out every now and again. They might get chroma keyed out like this one. That looks really cool, actually. But I'll try and bring them out if I have them over here. Okay, so we're going to start with the Twinnings English Breakfast. So Twinnings is okay. I think it's a pretty standard tea. It's really nothing that'll knock your socks off. And their English breakfast, again, is really not that great. So, I mean, when I had it, I've had it a couple times. So let's see. I have a couple variants. I have the decaffeinated version, and then I also have just the normal version here. Yeah, that one's getting kind of chroma keyed as well. So Twinnings English Breakfast. Now, again, it's decent. It's really nothing too crazy. Of course, if you guys have any strong opinions on anything, put it down below. I'd love to hear what your opinions are. But I think this is about a C tier. It's very standard. It's like, if you have anything below Twinnings English Breakfast, it's probably not good. If you have anything above it, I mean, you're going to remember that, I would say. Okay, so Twinnings Earl Grey. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Earl Grey generally, but I think there is a good time and place for Twinnings Earl Grey. So I do have some of that right here. Man, that looks so bizarre. So I do have some of it right here. Now, I will say it's pretty good. It's probably some of the best Earl Grey tea that I've had personally. So I'm going to have to throw that a little bit higher. I'm going to throw that at a B tier. I don't like how that looks. I'm getting kind of like OCD here, but okay, I'll put it at a B tier because it is, it's Earl Grey, so I'm not a huge fan of it, so it's not going to be A or S tier, but it's definitely more memorable than any other Earl Greys I've had. So it's something that I keep around, so I'll put it at a B tier. Okay, so when I was getting recommendations, I was getting a lot of recommendations for these brands. So Twinnings, Tetley, of course, PG Tips, Yorkshire. I got Boyrie a couple times, and even Typhoon. So I kind of know where you guys sit with a lot of these teas, so you guys might get a little bit upset with how I rank some of these. So honestly, Tetley, it's okay, but it's really not that good. I think it's kind of a D tier. I think Twinnings is a little bit better, but Tetley, when I drink it, so here we have it right here. When I drink it, I'm just like, I really should have picked something else. That's kind of how I feel about it. Again, you guys are going to have your own opinions, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have this cool easy squeeze version of it. So I guess they're innovating. I don't know if they're the first ones to do that, but yeah, I don't know. It's really not that memorable, to be honest. So I think it's going to stay at a D tier. Okay, so Cornish tea. So I have that right here. So this is something that I didn't hear about until I went to England. So this was actually a gift when I went over to Leon. So Leon from Bootnet Gamer. I don't know. The vlog should have been out by now. So if you guys saw the vlog, then you might have seen me heading over to Leon's place. So they actually gave me this when I was there. And I gotta say, it is really, really good. I didn't hear about it previously. And again, only certain stuff gets imported into the US. I will buy some stuff on Amazon, but if I don't know about it, then I probably won't buy it. And this stuff is solid. Okay, so I'm gonna rate it here. It's gonna go straight to an S tier. And that's gonna sound weird because you guys are like, that's like a very sacred place there. That's only for like, maybe some Yorkshire. Only the best of the best go in the S tier. And honestly, if you guys haven't tried Cornish tea, I would highly recommend it because it is really, really good. It's just really smooth. It's got like a really solid flavor, and I don't know. It's just like when I had it, I'm getting like really passionate about tea here, which is kind of weird as an American. But when I had it, I was like, yes, I need to get more of this stuff. I need to keep this stuff in my house. So it's great stuff. I'll just leave it at that. All right, so PG tips. So that side is chroma keyed. This side is not as chroma keyed. So I guess they changed up their packaging pretty recently. That looks so cool. So I guess they changed up their packaging pretty recently, but I gotta say, PG Tips, pretty good. So PG Tips was my first exposure to proper like English tea or really like proper black tea in general because they had it at the commissary here on base, and I heard about it in like podcasts and stuff from like the Yogs cast. So I heard about it and I saw it in stores. I'm like, yeah, might as well try it since I hear so much about it. So PG Tips is solid. It's solid stuff. So I'm gonna have to put it at an A tier. Yeah, I'm gonna put it at an A tier. It's like a high B, but I think it goes a little bit further into the A tier because PG Tips is honestly something that I always enjoy drinking. I don't know for what reason. I mean, it's got a good flavor. It like seems to mix really well. It's not one of those teas that I have to double bag, which I mean, like Tetley, I will almost certainly double bag it, and that's not because I have a lot of it. It's just because it doesn't have that much flavor. So I'll double bag the Tetley, but the higher we go here, the less likely I am to double bag. I guess that's my criteria for putting it up here. So PG Tips is good. It mixes really well with the milk. It's like a lot easier to get a good consistency because with some of these, if you put too much milk or if you put too little, it just like tastes like crap, which is kind of weird. But okay, so we have our Yorkshire Gold. You guys already know that's going in an S tier. So let's see. Let me flip to this. So right here, you guys already know I'm a huge fan of the Yorkshire, so that's definitely going to go in the S tier. Yorkshire was also something that I heard from the Yogs cast. So if you guys don't know the Yogs cast, it's another big YouTube channel. That's another thing that I heard from the Yogs cast is the Yorkshire Gold. So I actually saw that in the commissary as well, and I was like, well, this is awesome because now I get to try more of this tea that I always hear about, being like this legendary tea. So I bought it, and yeah, it was great. That's really where I started getting into like black tea was the PG Tips and the Yorkshire Gold. So yeah, it's a staple of tea, especially like I mean you guys seem to love it as well. So it seems like it's pretty popular. Okay, man, Yorkshire Biscuit Tea. So, man, that's so weird. I didn't find this anywhere until I went to England. I mean, I probably could have gotten it off of Amazon, but I wasn't really like reminded of it so much. But yeah, you guys can see the packaging right here. So this is amazing tea. I don't know if you guys have had it yet, but this is going to be like, it's going to be like high S tier. I wish I could like, actually, let me try and do this. So this is definitely going to be, okay, well, so it doesn't work. That's definitely going to be a high S tier because the flavor is good. Like it tastes like good black tea, but it's also got like I don't know, like a really nice breakfast taste to it because it has like that biscuit tea put into it. And I don't know how they do it, but it says tastes like tea and biscuits, and honestly, that's a pretty good representation of what you actually taste when you drink it. Now, I will say this is definitely my favorite tea I've ever had. The Cornish tea is really solid, and the Yorkshire Gold is pretty reliably good, but this Yorkshire tea biscuit is some great stuff. You guys were recommending it when I was asking for like tea recommendations, and I didn't really look it up until I actually saw it in store. It kind of reminded me of it, and I was like, I definitely need to try that, because if it's Yorkshire with like a slightly sweeter, more breakfasty taste, then it's got to be good stuff. Okay, berries tea. So I don't have normal berries tea right now. I only have the decaf blend. So you guys recommended berries tea because I guess it's like an Irish tea. Yeah, expertly blended in Ireland. So it's an Irish tea, but honestly, it's not that good. It's probably about standard with Tetley and maybe even lower. Honestly, I'd never had the gold blend. I had normal berries and then I had the berries decaf. I never had the gold blend. So if that's like Yorkshire Gold, it's probably a little bit better. So maybe that would be like a C tier, but I think right now it's going to have to be a D tier because it's it's not something that I would keep in the house otherwise. It's something that I bought to sort of try it out. And then when I realized what it tastes like, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably never going to choose that tea over any other teas, like any of these other teas that I have here. And that's definitely one that I find double bagging a lot. So if you guys like berries, I apologize. Maybe my American palate isn't as refined, but yeah, it's not that great. Okay, so we'll go to Typhoon now. I'm going to leave something special for the Lipton. But Typhoon, I have to say, I don't have it with me. I only had a little bit. I think I only had like 10 tea bags total of Typhoon. That was a lot of teas there. So I've only had a little bit of Typhoon, and I know it comes in rations too, which is kind of funny. But that's probably going to have to be a D tier as well. I'm not really going to use the E and F tier, to be honest, because, I mean, I've never been so appalled to drink something except for this. But Typhoon, it's okay. But again, it's probably something I would end up using 2 tea bags for. And I wouldn't choose it over any of these other teas. So I'll try and space these out. Try and make this look a little bit prettier. Because you guys can imagine that Lipton is not going to be going up very high on this list. So we'll do this. Okay, so Lipton. I don't know if this is an American brand. I think it is because I see it all the time. And it says it's like America's favorite tea. But I've never had Lipton and actually enjoyed it. It's like even these, I've had it and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. If I get like a really nice blend of milk and sugar and the tea and I had it steep for the perfect amount, these are like pretty solid. But Lipton, I've never been able to have a solid cup of Lipton tea, regardless if it's English breakfast or normal black tea or what have you, because, you know, you'll see it in like hotels and whatnot sometimes. So in previous tier list videos, I had a trash can, but in proper American fashion, we have something here. So if you guys don't know what this is the Boston Tea Party. Now, I know this isn't an English tea, but it belongs in the Boston Harbor, just like the tea back in the day, because it's not American. I don't know what it is, but I don't claim this as an American thing. And it belongs right there. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good at all. If you have Lipton, just get rid of it and get something proper. Get one of these. I will say that much. Again, to each his own. I've heard some people who do like Lipton. Now, granted, they were American, so that probably doesn't help. They probably never had Yorkshire Gold or even PG Tips or anything like that. So people who say they like Lipton, I don't know. It's a little questionable. If they're American, it makes a little bit of sense. Otherwise, not too sure. So that's pretty much how we stand there. So we have the Lipton getting dunked in the Boston Harbor there. Looks pretty beautiful. It's a beautiful sight. And we have the Typhoon, Berries Tea, and Tetley. Again, it's just personal preference, I guess. It's a little bit harder for me to get a good blend when I'm using these teas. Twinnings English Breakfast, pretty good standard tea. So that's probably something I won't double bag. And then all of these I will absolutely not double bag. Twinnings Earl Grey, pretty solid thing. It's probably not something I would have in the morning, but maybe like lunchtime or even afternoon, just to kind of like wake me up, because it's like a little bit sharper of a taste. And then PG Tips is a nice reliable tea. It's always going to be like pretty smooth, pretty good stuff. And then these legends are up here. So yeah, that's pretty much how it stands. So let me know how you guys think about this ranking. Of course, you guys, especially if you guys are over in England or the UK, you're going to be pretty passionate about your tea. So let me know how I rank this compared to how you would rank it down in the comments section. I might get some hate for putting some of these down here, but again, that's just personal preference. And I mean, I am American, so that doesn't really help, but at least I'm not so American to think that Lipton is good tea. So I have that going for me, I guess. But let me know what you guys think about this tier list down in the comment section. If you guys have any other tier list to recommend, you can put that down below as well. But yeah, I guess if you want to tell me how I'm a horrible tea rater or something, you can throw that down below, or you can head down to the Discord and try and flame me in the Discord, what have you. But yeah, this is how it stands. This is my ranking. And again, you guys can see I do enjoy my tea, and I can't really get all of them on camera, but here we go. You guys already know, I love tea. Again, not so much a military video, but it was fun to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But that is it for this video. So I will see you on the next one.